Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene and I am with A Room to Bloom, and this is your podcast oracle reading. Yesterday I was having a couple of different experiences, and really it was bringing forth a message. I just kind of wanted to sit with it, and it's been more than just yesterday, it was the day before as well, kind of coming together. But in that message, what's coming through is that after a period of someone attempting to block you, to stand in the way of your essence, your power, where it's not about a power kick, but someone who has been trying to block you, is it's done, right? The blockage has been cleared, and that is the message. The blockage has been cleared. And I'll tell you how this started. I'll just talk about one of the things. So a while ago I had my vacuum, and I noticed that it kept getting dusty on the outside of the vacuum, and the cylinder was not really taking much more up, but it was actually vacuuming. But what I realized yesterday, because I took the handle off to vacuum the couch. All right, I took it was the hose, and I put the attachment on to vacuum under the cushions. Okay, so this is also, it was more like a deep cleaning, if you will, right? So I did this, and I noticed that there was absolutely no power going through that vacuum. The wheel on the handle part was not even spinning. There's no air getting through, which then led me to taking off this part and finding the blockage. And, although it took a little bit of work, right? And that's what happens in our healing journey. We have to find out where that blockage is. We have to acknowledge that it's there. I vacuumed probably 3 times and kept looking at that dusty vacuum. So if you feel as if things are getting dusty in your life, the question is, where's the blockage, right? So that calls us to sit with ourselves and to evaluate from a heart-centered space, from a space of feeling, because we can think certain things, but it's and what we give energy to will expand, right? And so it's a sitting with oneself and saying, how do I feel? Are there any blockages in my life that have slowed me down? It's 3:33 right now on the clock. Is there anything, and it's 9:33 a.m. Is there anything, any area of my life in which I feel like there is a blockage, where there hasn't been good flow? Now, energy, or chi energy, source energy, is an energy that moves through us. It moves around us, right? And when we have blockages, things that block us, are, we don't even really know what they are until we do the inquiry, until we sit with ourselves long enough, until we acknowledge situations in our life that are not aligning with us anymore, until we do some healing work, until we do some what am I trying to say? The inner child, right? Till we do some shadow work, and then we start to acknowledge what might be coming up. Potentially could be like fear of the unknown, fear of trying something new. It's 4:44, saying you are protected on your journey. But the other thing that happened is it's like there was a situation where Somebody has been trying to stick or cling to you. This is the situation. Because yesterday, in two different instances, I had something cling to my robe. And it's not like a super long robe or anything where it was dragging on the ground. It was just sort of this random thing, even the first one. And then the second thing was even more random. No, the first one was this little kitten toy, and it had a bell on it. And one of the things that I do want to say about it is it has the colors of the rainbow, which is really interesting because the chakras are represented by the colors of the rainbow, right? The main 7 chakras. And so it was like this bell went off, if you will, because the cat toy had a bell on it. And that's how I realized that it was even stuck. I started moving and I was like, oh. So I can't even remember where I was. And it was like, okay. So it was like this bell brings awareness to the situation. And then a little bit later, it was a pumice block. And it happened to be yellow. And this pumice block, when you think about it, what does it do? It has grit, right? So, and what else does it do? It's something that is used to get through the hard stuff. Okay, it's 111 megabytes of space being used up. It's something that is used to get through the hard stuff, and that can be like calluses, right? And what happens? How do we get calluses? We do something repetitively, right? Like, so if one played guitar, right, you could have calluses on your fingers. But calluses can also come with certain types of weather. They can come with not caring or not putting enough moisturizing in. So that then there's also the message of continue to drink water, right? Stay well hydrated in order to clear blockages. Now think about the liver. The water helps clear toxins from our body, right? And so that is like a physical thing, but we have the spiritual thing where we have, say, emotions or feelings or whatever that caused us some type of a blockage. Even you could say a slowdown at some time, right? The words when someone throws shade at you, right? One day you might be so busy, you're like, whatever, it rolls right off your shoulder, you're not even thinking about it. But another time you might not be that busy and you absorb it more deeply. And so this is that thing that it's like, yeah, clearing that stuff out, right? And so looking at it. But this blockage that was in this vacuum hose was, it was quite, I mean, it took probably maybe 20-25 minutes to get that blockage out. So it took some work, right? Which is what happens in our healing journey. 25 minutes. Now that was to get something out of a physical thing that I could see. But when you can't see it, or when you aren't acknowledging that there's something there, it definitely can take longer. So that's why it's important to sit with ourselves and to acknowledge where we're at. What are we feeling in the areas of our life, right? In our mind, what are we feeling in our mind? Where are we going there? How are we feeling in our body? How are we feeling in our spirit, our soul? Are we having or doing experiences that light us up, right? Resonate with our soul? Or do we feel like things have become dusty? And if you do feel like that, then that is a call to look closer, right? And when we continue just on our life, like doing the same old, it might take a while to start looking closer, because what happens is you start asking, is this it? I know that there's more, but we enter into a place so it can be considered a void place. That is a place where we do that inner healing work, right? So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with a message from a book here called The Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel. Let's just see if what message wants to come through. I'm going to open this up randomly. Let's see what comes through. Okay, so I opened it up. It just says August, and it has an image of abstract artwork, bright colors. So, you know, this is interesting, and I can't remember what the name of the calendar is. I want to say Gregorian, but I could be wrong. Anyway, the calendar was changed at some point. Um, and so October is really 8. It is really Ak. We know Ak is really the number for the 8th month, and yet in our human experience, it is being represented by our 10th month, right? Because the calendar was changed. I can't say the person's name who did that, but so if this is the 10th month, August, sorry, so we have October 31st, it would have been August 31st. And so it is interesting that this comes up as August. I also, when I look at this word, I get the sense of a gust, right? A gust of wind, winds of change, things moving. Because think about a vacuum, right? The vacuum needs that suction in order to clean things up, right? And when we look at June, or when we look at August, the 2 months prior to August would have been June. So there could be something that you experienced and or felt in June that caused something, right? So we're going to look at, it's June and August are the months we're looking at. But I'm just going to, because I'm in August, I'm going to flip this just a little bit further. I'm not just going to go to August first. I'm just going to go a little further into August. Okay, so we have August 11th, and what it says is healing needs trust. Only time heals. And even when time passes, we are not always healed in the way we hoped to be. However, we will be healed in a way we need to be. Trust that you will be okay, even if being okay today looks different than it did before. And when I was saying about feeling, this is it. It's not saying, well, I think this and I think that. It's I feel. And what I notice is the one under for August 12th, it says, feel however you feel. So I'm guided to read that as well. Feel what you feel. Do not attempt to be happy in every moment of sadness. Happiness is a powerful emotion, but it needs space in order to thrive. Sadness also needs space to be felt before it can move along and make way for other emotions. So, like, move along. Ooh, I have goosebumps. So, like, that blockage is this place where something got stuck. And it's like, you have to feel it to heal it, right? Allow yourself to feel all emotions with compassion. Know that these feelings too shall pass, right? Like a wave in the ocean. They come. If you're out swimming and there's the waves start getting pretty strong, it's like, oh, okay, oh, right? But they come, and sometimes they're fun, they might be fun, like that happy feeling, but sometimes they're going to come in, it's like, oh, that doesn't feel so good, but I'm going to allow this so that I can feel it, right? So they too shall pass, and when you are ready, trust that you will gracefully move forward. So a really lovely message. I also want to mention that this page that this is written on, because the pages are various colors, is pink, and pink does represent healing. The number on the page is 154. And I'm going to use Doreen Virtue's angel numbers for this. Um, So it says the angels are here to help you make necessary changes, which will increase your level of happiness and satisfaction. Ask for heaven's help, especially with respect to maintaining a positive mindset. You guys, the book that I'm reading again is A Year of Positive Thinking. That's where that first message came from, again by Cindy Spiegel. So, um, sitting with oneself, the blockages are removed. Remember that, you know, this, so imagine you've moved through something, you've sat with yourself, you've felt the emotions, you've cleared some blockage. But again, it is about conscious awareness so that we don't continue to allow things to block us, which means that we do not get too attached to our emotions. We step back and we become an observer of our emotions, right? We watch them. Okay, and then I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use a deck here called the Sound Healing deck. Oh, actually, before I do that, I want to use the Akashic Truth Oracle card deck. Let's see what comes up um, with these. Everything always kind of runs together. I chose these before, so they seem to be the perfect fit already for the message that is coming through. Okay, the first card we have is Soar. You are being asked to stop dimming your own light, period. It is time for you to come out of the shadows and let your authentic self soar. Fly high, dear one. Okay? Um, let's see what else we have. We have detach. You are being asked to detach from something that you've been holding on to. When we hold on too tightly to the desired outcome, it restricts the flow, right? So that can what? Create a blockage. When we're hanging on to something, trusting that chi energy, source energy, uh, moves through us, and if we hang on to it, it can cause a blockage. But when we trust it and we release it, there's healing that takes place. So it says trust that the outcome will work out and let go of your attachment to it. What have you been hanging on to or continually holding on to? You're being called to detach from it. Okay, the next one is honor yourself. And here we have a person holding their hands up. They have a crown on their head. Their eyes are closed, chin up. It says, recognize the hard work that you have put in to get to where you are today. Instead of thinking how far you still have to go, remind yourself of all that you have accomplished and be proud, right? So I think that that's important sometimes to just step back and to look at what what have you moved through? What steps have you taken? Um, it's not about totally living in the past, but it's just simply an acknowledgement of, maybe a year ago I was here and now I'm here. Or 5 years ago I was there, but I've come a long way, right? That saying, you've come a long way, baby, is coming to me, right? Um, and so, again, this definitely goes with something I speak about, having a calendar on the counter, and instead of going through a calendar filling it up with stuff to do, writing down just what you're doing. And so, if you've been in a place where you felt blocked, maybe you didn't do as much, or uh, you know because you were slowing down, you were trying to feel your feelings, right? Moving through something, even though maybe you didn't know what that something was, even, right? But you were trying to excavate it, trying to find it, trying to heal it. You've been working on it. But that calendar, when you just write down what you've done for the day, then that will help you to look back and to see what you actually did do, right? Maybe 6 months ago, you had one way of being, but now you're being more active and or productive in life. Okay, what else do we have? Acceptance. You may be disappointed with a recent outcome. Remember, if one door closes, you are being redirected to one that will soon open to your true soul path, right? So, again, a job that doesn't, line up, a relationship, the home that you put an offer in on, but it didn't come through. Um, the whatever. Maybe there was a pet for some reason that you wanted, and before you got there, somebody else picked the pet up. Um, but there was one that comes along that actually lines is more in alignment with you, with your schedule, with your rhythm, right, if you will. So let's go ahead and take one more. We have stuck in fear. You're thinking of all the things, and I want to use that word again, thinking, right? Of all the things that could go wrong. That can cause blockages, right? Stuck, okay? But what about the things that could go right? Make a paradigm shift in your thinking and take inspired action anyway. Um, Whether you're the person who says things like this, or just think about any time you've ever spoken to someone and they're like, oh, I don't want to do this because of that, I'm afraid of this, and you're trying to encourage or inspire someone, but that it keeps coming up. What they're doing is they're reflecting something back to you about yourself, to take a look at what fear you have. On the bottom of the deck, we have deception. You're not seeing the entire picture of a person or a situation. It may be purposefully withheld from you, or you may be choosing to look the other way on behalf, or betray yourself in some way. It is time to gain clarity. And that's interesting because the bottom of the deck represents the subconscious mind. It's like, but you're not doing something, or you're not acknowledging it, right? Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to a deck here called Crystal Sound Healing. And let's see what comes up under these cards. Okay, what do we have here under Soar? You're being asked to stop dimming your own light. Okay, we have Universal Mother, nurturing, support, and steadiness, right? I have goosebumps with that. And what we have here is there's like a statue, and it shows a woman's pregnant belly, right? Universal Mother. I'm going to pull the cards first, and then I might step to the book. The next one under Detached, it says Dylan's Bowl, Saint Germain, love beyond time and space. Okay, so, and then there is a rainbow. It's a circular rainbow. It kind of reminds me of, I think they call them sundogs or moondogs. I'm not sure, but it's like this rainbow that goes around um, a light, but it's a little bit hazy, right? And that's what it looks like. Love beyond time and space. So there might be a situation in a relationship where it's saying detach from something. You can love past. Uh, the words that are coming to me is when I think about, like, say, Doctors Without Borders. Um, it's it's loving beyond the human experience, right? Love beyond time and space. Okay, under Honor Yourself, we have Indigo and Platinum, intuition, authenticity, and alignment. Interesting. Honor yourself. Very, very nice. Okay, under Acceptance, we have Aqua Quartz. Aqua Aura Quartz, balance, equilibrium, and flow. And so that's kind of how this all started yet again, right? Flow. We want things to flow. And this is what it's saying. The blockages are removed. Now it's like, okay, I've been feeling things. I'm going to continue to allow those feelings to come up. But each time, it's not like I'm going to start collecting them again and go, oh, I already cleared that, right? Because we have to be aware of what can come in and cause blockages again. So it's awareness. It is a practice We are forever having experiences, right? But we get better at how we move through them, right? And we may not hang on to the emotion of experiences so tightly. We detach from that and we become an observer, and through that we accept ourselves and the situation, right? um, and because we accept it, we step more into balance, more into equilibrium, more into flow. Okay, under the stuck in fear card, which is interesting because it's the last card and that's like considered the blockage card. It says Larimar Rose Quartz. um, it speaks of grace, respect, and emotional healing, right? If you're thinking of all the things that could go wrong, it's about having grace and respect for yourself and others and emotional healing. Um, take inspired action to shift your thinking. So if you recognize your thinking is one particular way, whether you're biting your nails out of worry, you're thinking out there, you catch yourself constantly thinking out there, you're being called to come back to the present moment, feel the feelings, and just process them and keep saying, I'm here right now. I'm here right now. This is my experience right now. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have Halo Gold as a two-light, Palladium. It says Divine Light Embodied. Okay, and that's actually, and it's the, no surprise, Halo Gold, right? And the card number is number 1. So I'm going to read that. If this anchoring note came to harmonize your field today, you are being reminded that you are made of energy, sound, vibration, and light. Halo Gold and Azatolite gently nudge you to remember your connection to the divine light. They invite you to anchor that radiant light within you and to walk as divinity in human form. What does the card mean for you? The bowl asks you to take the higher path, to be the one who turns to the vibration of love so that it becomes your vibration of choice. Palladium activates joy and wonder, playfulness and innocence, and can be a kind of intimate friend and sacred guardian. Palladium is a grand protector of your inner child. Let your inner child express themselves and jump for joy. The Halo Gold Master Alchemy illuminates your brain and it strengthens your confidence, self-esteem, and courage. It helps you to activate and to stabilize your personal power. As you listen to the singing bowl, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to read that part here. There's a mantra here. It says, I am divine light embodied. I am radiant inside and out. I am grounded in wonder and delight. My mind is clear. I am strong, anchored to the earth, connected through my breath to spirit. Okay, so a very powerful message. One other thing I wanted to do, because I want to try to keep this reading a little bit shorter. So this book is 8,789 Words of Wisdom by Barbara Ann Kipfer, and I had it open the other day. There's a number of them on one page here. Okay, so here we are. And I got goosebumps as I looked at this one. It says, by pursuing any one of our dreams, we can find fulfillment. So if you are feeling like your life has been dusty, if you had been feeling the blocks and you weren't feeling your feelings, right? But this is saying, okay, you're doing that work now. Or if you've been, having your thoughts go to certain places, this is saying, okay, I am choosing to pivot my thoughts towards my dreams, and I'm taking inspired action steps towards them, right? By pursuing any of our dreams, we can find fulfillment. So that is the reading for today. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Again, all blockages have been cleared. I hope you have a great day. Take care.